So Ryan Reinbold with Cusick Motorsports, which is an Indy 500 only team, showed off their livery today at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And during the press conference, I had an opportunity to speak to team owner Dennis Reinbold, and he got pretty fired up when I asked about the charter agreement and the potentiality of only 25 spots being included in that charter agreement. It's a really interesting listen and the most open I've heard any team owner in this series be about the charters.
There's been a lot of talk about the upcoming charter agreement. It's kind of, we got a unique situation here. Dennis, you've been around for so many years. Don, you're a new partner to IndyCar, relatively speaking. What are your thoughts right now about the charter agreement currently being an Indy-only team? What would you like to see included in that and provisions for Indy 500 teams and protections for them?
I told them my suggestion would be to base the number not off 25, which is proposed. It still hasn't been solidified. I've had a number of conversations with them, sent my suggestions in the form of emails in 2 different occasions. I think the number ought to be 33. This is the crown jewel of the sport. So there should be 33 charters, and it should reward the people like Don and myself that come here year in and year out and strive to be full-time. We haven't become full-time. I mean, adding Don to our partnership starting last year has given us the opportunity to do a lot more testing. We've done a lot of wind tunnel testing the last 2 years that we haven't been able to do on our own before. So that's been a good step for us as a team to build and grow. For us to do the other races on the schedule correctly, and that's the only way I want to do it, we recognize that we would have to go outside of ourselves to be able to bring in like a venture capital type of partner, or we've had discussions with 3 different NASCAR teams that have an interest in coming to IndyCar full time. There's a possibility we could partner with them to join us and do that and put one heck of a good effort out there to go out there and compete on a daily, day in, day out basis in every form of racing. Where we are good is that we focus on Indy only. The other teams right now, and so that's where our budget goes. And Don, his involvement has got us to the point where we are pretty adequate at that. We're never where you want to be, obviously, but we are very competent and confident in what we bring to this track right now today. So to think we could go to Milwaukee and compete, we can't do that. We don't do the testing that's necessary to go there and be competitive with road courses, street courses, short ovals. We don't have that. So we recognize we have to bring in a partnership sort of situation to be able to do 2 full-time cars for full-time in the circuit. So that's where we're at right now. And the charter being closed off at 25 doesn't give us an opportunity really to expand if that's a theoretical possibility. And I think it is possible. We've talked to a lot of people that have interest in, if we can do that, we'd like to do it, but we don't want to be excluded from the possibility of being able to be a charter and then being able to compete for the 22 leader circle spots. We've been here 25 years. This is our 25th year in IndyCar, Ryan Reinbold Racing. And knock on wood again, hopefully this will be our 50 cars qualified at the end of this week. So we're definitely dedicated to this place and want to be a part of it. We just don't want to be shut out. And the 25 really kind of closes it off and it shuts us out of the situation. So I hate it. I don't like that scenario at all because it limits what we can do and what we can potentially grow into.
Anything to add to that, Don?
Yeah, sure. I mean, really the only thing I can add, and I obviously have talked to Dennis and Brett about this quite a bit. I would just say that, we want to be here, Cusick Motorsports. Our sponsors want to be here. And we just need that opportunity. And if there is an opportunity to go full time, then we'd be super interested to do that. But this is a stepping stone, and this is where people get to know about IndyCar racing, and this is where we cultivate new sponsors and grow them. And so it's super important that we have an opportunity to be here. And other than that, like I said, I agree with Dennis, and we're going to fight, see what we can do.
The other thing, I'm jumping back in, I'm obviously fired up about this topic, but the other thing that we do is year in and year out for 25 years, we've spent exactly the same amount of money as the full-time teams. We have had to update all of our cars and all of our equipment to be ready to come to this race and be prepared. So the cost differentiation, we haven't raised the operational capital to go to other races. We've done other races in the past, but we don't have that in our budget right now today. It's not to say we couldn't, and we would like to have that opportunity to expand if possible.
I see you haven't spent any time thinking about this issue at all.
No, it's just that's off the top of my head.